British idiom, keep your hair on, means to stay calm and not get angry or impatient.
Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. I love my little cat. I'm very fond of that. I'd rather have a big bow wow 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 wow. Daddy
Hello and welcome to the Mochaverse. I'm Linette.
And I'm Skip.
And
You keep your hair on,
keep
you
your
know.
hair on. I see that's a
Yeah,
good one because I'm sure it harkens to like I'm sure in some way it harkens to like toupees and things, right?
yeah, I think it does. It's been popular from the 19th century humor about men pulling out their hair in frustration,
Right.
or losing their temper, wigs and all.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, there's theories why it came up. Well, one theory is the wig theory, is that it refers to an era where men wore wigs. Where the angry might tear his wig off during a fit of rage.
Oh yeah, that's
Meaning the first.
true. I've seen
Yeah,
that like, dramatized where somebody,
right.
be wearing a powdered wig, they take it off and throw it at the
And they
table.
throw it at exactly.
Yeah.
And the phrase means keep your artificial hair on. That's been debated too because the phrase emerged probably in a later time. Obviously, exasperation, hair tearing. Some of the older variations of that were follows the expression, a pattern of older clothing or accessory.
Hmm.
Idioms, for example, keep your hat on, dates
Right.
back to 1804, and the American equivalent, keep your shirt on.
That's true.
It's just different shirts off before a physical street fight. So anyway, that's kind of a. I always thought it was an interesting one when I saw it. I goes, oh, okay, that's interesting, and everything British is, what you're going to be interested in too. So
Oh, absolutely. I like their colorful turns of phrase. I always have. When you said keep your hat on, that Joe Cocker song's going to be in my head for the rest of the day. And the problem with that song, it's such a good song, but the problem with that
Mhm.
song is it reminds me of The Full Monty. Did you ever watch The Full Monty?
No, I never did.
It's
No,
really good. I highly recommend it. The plot is basically these are working class guys in England at a time when all the steel mills shut down, and so nobody
oh,
has
I think,
work, right?
yeah, I think I remember this. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and their foreman is one of those guys, and they all kind of get together because one of the guys he's going to lose custody, like visitation of his kid, and they need
Yeah,
money. And so one of them gets the brilliant idea they could be strippers. They could
yeah,
be
that's right.
male exotic
Yeah.
dancers and make a
Mhm.
good amount of money for it. And so they just kind of like recruit each other, and they're none of them are none of them are the dancing type. They're like the usual working class
Yeah,
Brits.
yeah.
And it's quite cute, but they do their final act at the end to that song, and it's actually very charming because like it's just I don't know, it's wholesome in the way it could be wholesome for a movie about strippers.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. And I think along the way, since that time, you've seen different takes on that.
Yeah.
On different shows and stuff, which is always the case. They copy things. Each entertainment industry will copy something or get a
Hmm.
little bit of a twist to it.
Yes, and the
No,
the the phrase "the full Monty" is a British phrase, and it refers to going all the way. In the context of the
okay.
movie, yeah, because they in the context of the movie they decided it would be a really good draw for the show if, as strippers, they took everything off because usually strippers don't, right?
Right, right. Most don't. Yeah.
Most don't, so they're like, well, we're gonna go the full Monty, and they're all looking at each other like, what?
Right.
It was very good.
I got a few things going on here.
Yep.
This is something which I just ran into. Mother's Day.
Hmm.
Rather than the day being about visiting your mom, Mothering Day was originally the day when everybody returned to the mother church, the main church cathedral in the area. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, it's a celebratory service in the middle of Lent, so, or other important religious occasions.
yeah.
Mothering Sunday was widely observed in Victorian times when Advent and Christmas overtook Lent and Easter as a principal events of religious year. It's long been a tradition for people to give their mothers gifts on Mothering Sunday,
Hmm.
which partially, because of the association with Mother's Day, also a day for in the year when servants got time off to visit their mothers. So it fell into disuse in Britain. And in 1908, there was a service that this woman, Anna Jarvis, held to honor her mother,
Hmm.
who had died a few years earlier. The event was such a huge success that she spent the next 6 years promoting the idea. It caught on successfully in 1914, as we all know, as President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed Mother's Day as a national holiday. It is interesting. I didn't realize that, personally, I didn't realize that's where the origin was, but
Right.
it makes sense how it would evolve to that, you know.
That is interesting. Yeah, I've seen, see, I didn't know that because I've seen like on calendars it would say Mothering Sunday,
Right,
uh and they would say like Canada or UK. Um
right.
but I didn't know that it was a completely different type of thing than Mother's Day. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. It was something like I say, I didn't realize it, and I thought, geez, that's an interesting thing to know where the origin of things like we always talk about that, can be quite different than what you expect. But you can really see how it would evolve, considering it was called Mothering Day, you know.
Right. Oh,
Um,
absolutely. And
yeah.
that would be an interesting future subject too, is the holiday thing, because
Mhm.
in the past there were way more holidays
Yeah.
uh in your year than we actually celebrate now that we are a working society. You know what I mean? Like working outside the home.
Yep.
And that we have banks and things like that, businesses and things like that. Because like
Mhm.
I mean, I watch a fair amount of period television, usually British, and they talk about different parts of the year. And in like the UK, they do still celebrate holidays that we don't anymore, that had the origin in much older times.
Right.
Whether they're pagan or whether they're from like the older churches. I think some of them are from the Catholic Church because they're named after saints. Like, we have, of course, Christmas,
Right.
but there's also something called Michaelmas.
Ah.
Probably, I assume I'd have to research it after Michael, right? After Saint Michael. And they have like all these other misses. They got
Yeah.
Middlemas, they got, this miss and that miss.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they mention Middlemas a lot and they mention Michaelmas a lot. And of course, like
Mm.
the Greek Orthodox Church has this cool thing where it's like I don't know exactly the details, but it has to do with names. So a lot of
Mhm.
a lot of Greek families, just like Italian families, they use like a short list of names for everybody, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like in an Italian family like
Google
yours,
that.
there's a lot of Salvatores, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There'd be like a
Yep.
lot of Costa. There'd be a lot of Costa de Dios in a
Yeah.
Greek family. And so they have a name day, and every like a lot of the common names have a day where it's like, oh, it's my name day or whatever. And it could come from saints too, but I'd have to research that. But I always thought that was interesting because I used to work with some Greek people, and they were like, oh, it's my name day. I'm like, what? I don't have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always it's sort of the other thing is just as a side note about Mother's Day is the thing where I don't even know how they started Father's Day, but it it doesn't get, maybe for obvious reasons, Father's Day doesn't get the attention that Mother's Day does.
Right.
Um,
I think it
you
did
know,
start much later, if I'm not mistaken, Father's
oh,
Day.
I think it did too. I'm just not sure when. I think and the reality is, and quite honestly, there's a reality is why it doesn't catch on. So.
Oh,
Uh,
actually, not much later, 1910.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So it is, because
yeah,
19, that would have been before, because 1914 was when President Wilson declared Mother's Day as a national holiday.
right, but
Huh.
people were probably celebrating it because what it says here is that somebody was listening to a Mother's Day sermon
Okay.
and they wanted to honor their Civil War veteran father who had raised six
Oh,
children.
okay.
And
Gotcha.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, they
Yeah.
decided to they
That makes
led
sense.
like a church service and that was Washington State,
Oh, okay.
1910.
Wow, that's a surprise. I wouldn't have thought it would have been beforehand.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Now in
Cool.
like it was officially recognized in 1966, so that's much later.
Okay, that's official. Yeah. Okay,
And
gotcha.
guess who signed it now? The proclamation was LBJ, but guess who signed it into law?
I don't know, Nixon.
Yeah, your best buddy, Nixon.
Uh,
He made it a
uh,
permanent national holiday.
because he was a mother,
Oh, oh, to have Nixon back again.
oh yeah, he was a saint.
I could honestly deal with that at this point.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah,
not a
I
political
agree.
podcast.
Nope, nope, nope. Move on.
We could talk about
So
presidents, but not politics. How do you do that?
that's right. It's not easy. So this is something you probably already know, but I didn't.
Hmm.
Is that Sherlock Holmes
Oh, I probably do.
used abduction, not deduction, to crack his
Yes,
case.
that's correct. Yeah, it is not. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, because deductive reasoning is a conclusion, is where the
Yes.
conclusion is certain, providing the facts are true. In other words, all men are mortal. Watson is a man. Deduction, Watson is mortal. Holmes, he used abductive reasoning more often, which
Correct.
works by drawing the two most likely conclusions. And if you watch it, you can see that that's the case. That they call it deduction, but it's not really, because if you look at it, it's like the most it just evaluates the two most logical conclusions, and weighs it on the evidence. So yeah,
Correct. Yes,
good.
because deduction is different. That's almost like a yes. Deduction is more like hypothesis, I would say.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So deductive reasoning is, where the conclusion is certain. That's basically the
oh, I
bottom
see.
line.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Where abduction is not, where you're just taking all the evidence and deciding what makes most sense, in terms of fitting the facts. Anyway, that's a quickie. So,
That's a good one. I like
uh,
it. One of the maxims that Sherlock Holmes used to that end was when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
and that makes it abduction rather than deduction. That's right.
Correct.
Although I can see where people logically would think deduction, you know,
Hmm.
but there's a fine line to what that difference is.
Elimination, yeah, is what more of
Elimination.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just did it so fast that.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yep.
Which was like, I was reading a thing where Kamabach, he used to talk. He learned to talk real fast. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
and that was part of the, just running a whole bunch of scenarios all at once.
After I discovered him on that show, I watched older stuff, and
Mhm.
he was definitely a more simplist. He had a more simplistic style of acting, and he was always a good actor, but he was more comedic in the past, and it was
Lord,
more yeah, it was a lot different before Sherlock. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so
Hey folks, Lynette here. It looks like we had a little bit of audio difficulty there for a second. A question that my dad asked me seems to have been cut out. So I thought I'd just let you guys know for context. The question my dad's about to ask me is, do I know what the centerpiece of early medieval tournaments was? I apologize for the issue, and hopefully we can fix it and it doesn't happen in the future. Thanks, guys.
What
probably
would you
not
think of?
jousting is what I'm thinking of. Probably something
Yeah,
else, right?
yeah, exactly. It wasn't jousting.
Yeah.
The centerpiece was called the melee. Rather than two knights charging each other with lances, it involved hundreds of knights on horseback slamming into each other in formation. The aim was to hold the line and turn as one, and then select individual knights to capture.
Those
And
poor
the active,
horses is what I
yeah, I
say.
know, yeah, and the active turning is how the tournament got its name. It literally means to turn around in Old French. Knights that were captured were then ransomed, often for huge sums of money. And then, jousting did take place, but it was actually a side event.
Okay, folks, so we had another little hiccup. What my dad is asking me here is, did I know that the Colosseum was not called the Colosseum?
Although it was really big enough to hold 80,000. Imagine this, spectators. It was called, the Romans called it Flavian Amphitheater.
Okay.
Nobody called it the Colosseum until AD 1000, long after the Roman Empire was gone. The word colossal comes from the Greek colossus, which means larger than life statue.
Right.
A little interesting thing about the Colosseum. I guess, of course, thought that it was a name it always had.
And I imagine it was built during Flavius's time then?
Yeah, that's probably why it was called the Flavian Amphitheater.
Right. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. And yeah, they wouldn't be calling it something that was from the origin of a Greek word yet.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, they would not. Yeah.
Hmm. That is interesting. Yeah. I like that. And of course, the Colosseum, one of the major features of the Colosseum are the doorways, which are called, do you remember?
There's a name for that. I don't remember, but we did remember we did that in a previous
We did.
podcast.
That's the vomitorium,
Vomitorium, right?
and it's not a room where you vomit, which
Right.
they did do, but the vomitorium is the doorways where you can all vomit out of the building.
That's right. Yeah. Leave the building.
Yes.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, all those archways are the vomitorium. Yeah. I just love that. So
Yeah.
okay, well that's actually a pretty good segue into one of my sections. So that's good.
Okay.
So what I have is a list of very specific names for common things, and a lot of these are things that most of us don't know.
Mhm.
Some of us do because we look things up all the time, so we know these things. But a lot of us don't because there's a lot of like normies out there who don't think about stuff like that all the time. So it's not a super long list, but it was a nice starting list, and I wonder if you have any that you just know, and we'll get into that hopefully. But so the first one I have is the plastic tip on the end of a shoelace. Do you know what that's called?
I have seen that somewhere, and I
Yep.
can't think of it.
It
Yeah.
shows up on like Facebook and things all the time.
Yeah.
It's called an aglet.
Aglet. Okay.
Yep. And it stands to reason that everything has a name, right? They're
Oh
not
yeah,
going
like the dot on top of the eye. What's that called?
That's a tittle. That's one of my
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. On top of a lowercase I or a J is called a tittle.
There you go.
Yes. Yep, yep. And this is it the elbow or it's near your elbow, the skin near your elbow? That's your
Mhm.
weenus.
Good for it.
Other body parts, your glabella is the space between your eyebrows, which, based on how that word sounds, I would have thought that was somewhere in your mouth because the glottis is your tongue, but the glabella is the space between your eyebrows. Let's see. There was another. Oh, yeah, the philtrum. Your philtrum is the little dent right above your lip.
Oh yeah,
Some
yeah.
people have more pronounced. So you know this one because this is the one that shows up on all the lists that end up on Facebook. Petrichor. You've heard that
Oh, okay.
term? That's that smell after the rain. That earthy smell that you get after the rain. Or you can say, "I smell the rain coming." That kind of smell.
Yes, yeah. And do you have one about what the smell that comes from grass?
No, I think, did you tell me that one before?
I did that one. Yes, I did that one the last podcast.
Yeah.
And it's also the plants crying.
Yes, the plants are crying. Yes. A ferrule, Ferrule. Do you know what that is? Actually, you do woodworking, so you might know what that is.
Ferrule it's called a ferrule.
Oh,
The
ferrule?
ferrule, yeah, it's basically a round object with a hole in the center that you use to, run a string or something through. You attach it to, yeah.
Oh, okay. This one says it's the thing, the metal band that could be at the bottom of a table leg.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's another thing. It's basically it's circular and a ferrule. There's all kinds of ways to describe different people describe it. I think of there's a ferrule, for example. It's like an eyelet. Okay, that's a better word.
That actually makes sense. Because the word comes from the Latin for bracelet. Okay. But a ferrule is also the name for the metal thing that holds the eraser onto a pencil.
Oh,
Because that's
okay.
kind of a bracelet too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's actually around anything around, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like bracelet shaped. It's like a yeah.
It's
Speaking
round.
of things that are yeah, exactly. Speaking of things that are that sort of shape, do you know what a zarf is?
No, but I'm sure I'm not going to be able to live another day without knowing it.
That's right. It's a silly word, but a zarf is that cardboard sleeve that you put on coffee, that you get from a coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I remember reading once that the guy who invented that made a lot of money.
Oh, okay. Is his name Czar?
I don't think so. I think he just probably thought of the weirdest word he could think of. This is zarf. Maybe he was a sci-fi fan. Um, and so did you know that there was a term for those rays of sunshine that come down out of the clouds that you would normally see on like, you know, inspirational paintings. But you can
Yeah,
see it in the real sky when it's all cloudy and then those really cool
right.
rays come down. Those are called
Yeah.
crepuscular rays.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
nice, yeah, it's a nice term. Very scientific.
It makes a nice picture if you can capture it. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, absolutely. I always cannot. Whenever I take pictures of clouds, they always end up looking different. But that's
Yeah, I'll see. I've done this a few times. You probably seen me on Facebook. Well, I'll see a cloud and I think, oh, that looks like a cowboy riding a
yeah,
horse. Or another one was like a chimney with smoke coming out of it.
right. Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing. And I send it to somebody else, and I don't get a response because they're thinking, okay, this guy's smoking something. So,
Well, yeah. You know what though? In defense of that, I do that all the time, just at home. We'll be sitting on the porch, and I'm like, look, it's a bunny, and it looks like a bunny, or it looks like a cat, or
yeah,
like a horse, or something.
for a very short time, if you don't take the picture right away, for example,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, oh it definitely changes, so you have to get somebody to look at it right away. It's worthy of interrupting the conversation, in my opinion, if a cloud is shaped like something interesting. Okay, so phosphenes, which sounds like chemical, but
Hmm.
phosphenes are those little bits of light that you see if you squeeze your eyes too hard, or like you know how like you can see sometimes if you close your eyes too hard, you can like see the outline of your eyeball in white.
There's also stars. I
Yeah,
call
you
them
can see
stars.
stars. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Two more. I don't know how this would be pronounced. Agraffe. Agraphy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Uh, that is the name for the metal cage that holds a champagne cork.
Ah, ah,
Yeah, they don't just
well,
call it the cork cage or something. Uh,
okay, yeah.
yeah. And this is cool. I like this. I want to like use this at work. The combination of symbols that we use in text to represent swear words, we'll
Hmm.
put like an
Oh, yeah, all
asterisk and
those
an
different,
yeah,
yeah.
like in Qbert. That's called a Grawlix.
Wow.
Grawlix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has a term for it. I think that's really cool. And then there's one more that I want to mention and I only want to mention it because would like to do a segment on this in a future episode.
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of a mondegreen?
No.
So a mondegreen is the term for a misheard song lyric.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Which we all have done that. Yeah.
Yes, and the reason it's called a mondegreen is because this writer Sylvia Wright, in 1954, she wrote in an essay in Harper's Magazine. She had a childhood misunderstanding of a line in a Scottish ballad, and the Scottish ballad had a line in it that said, I think it was like they killed the Earl of something and laid him on the green.
Ah, okay.
And she thought they said they killed the Earl of something in Lady Mondegreen.
Later Mondegreen.
Lady Mondegreen, you know. You know
Yeah.
that lady.
So, yeah, yeah. Went to different schools together.
Yeah. She died alongside the Earl.
Yeah.
So oh, it's the Earl of Moray. So they killed the Earl of Moray and laid him on the green, right?
Okay.
But they killed Lady Mondegreen also. So that's where the term Mondegreen comes from. It comes from any misheard song
Uh,
lyrics. Yeah. So
uh,
my brain is bustling. I'm gonna make a nice big list of those for another episode, probably next time.
Another segue, which is actually, I had something on this about words that were proposed but rejected to the Oxford English Dictionary.
Okay.
They're actually stored in a secret vault. These words are conversation, which
Yeah.
means a conversation that isn't going anywhere.
Oh, I
Uh,
love it.
Fergling, uh, fumbling in your pocket the keys for a change, and for a change, keys for a
Nice.
change. A stealth geek, someone who holds niche interests.
Yes.
Uh, you know, uh, an awkward sidestepping dance you find yourself doing when you meet somebody walking towards you is a polka dodge. These are all words that were rejected.
I like that
Um,
one though. That's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. If words aren't considered immediately for publication, it doesn't mean they'll never be.
Hmm.
Like earworm,
Yes.
it's named for a catchy song that gets stuck in your head. Was once in the vault, but it was actually added to the dictionary in 2011. Literally isn't the only word to change in meaning. It was once nice to call someone nice, meaning it meant foolish.
Hmm.
How about that? Didn't think of that one.
That's interesting.
Uh, yeah. Bully meant darling.
Yep.
Silly meant worthy. Resentment meant gratitude. Think about that. Seems like quite the opposite.
It sure does.
And yeah, and a clue was a ball. So
Oh,
yeah, I found that's sort of interesting. These are all those words were all rejected for the Oxford English Dictionary, but they're kept in a vault, as I
right.
said earlier, just in case in the future somebody resubmits them or they become part of the uh, word salad or whatever you want to call it,
Sure.
English salad.
Yeah. Well, I bet the term when you said bully, I bet the term bully was probably proposed around the 20s because that word was used in a positive way in the 20s. It was one of those like
Bully for you,
yes, bully for you
yes,
and bully and jolly were used a lot during those times. Yeah.
yeah, interesting.
Mhm. Interesting. That is
So
interesting.
yeah, this is one that's sort of off. This is off the beaten path a little. You know what the strongest creature is?
The strongest creature and I do not.
Okay, it's not ants. It's gonorrhea bacteria.
Oh yeah. Considered a
Yeah,
creature. Yeah.
it can pull a force equal to 100,000 times its body weight.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And if a human could do this, a 12-stone man, which is again the British thing, could
Yeah.
comfortably pull the Eiffel Tower behind him.
Damn.
The reason for its extraordinary strength is the tentacle type like structure called the pill, which is where it grows up to like 10 times its body weight. Right.
Yeah.
The bacteria use them gripping hooks to crawl along the surfaces and infect them. It's one of the few diseases it's exclusive to people, uh, but as well as humans catching gonorrhea, gonorrhea can catch humans. The bacteria,
Wow.
this is a good, the bacteria can be contaminated by fragments of the human DNA.
Oh,
Take
wow.
that,
Oh,
gonorrhea.
yeah. That sounds like a sci-fi movie waiting to happen.
It does,
Like a
so
sci-fi porno or something.
something like that.
And incidentally, stone is 14 pounds.
Okay, good. All right. So I knew it was a British uh, measure.
Yes. Yeah.
So
They still use that and it's so confusing because they're like, "Oh, he weighs this many stone." And I'm like, "Can you just
stone,
tell
yeah.
me?"
Yeah, what he weighs, say grams, anything, but
Times that by and
stone.
14 is such a hard number to multiply by to get.
Yeah. So, do you know what the one finger that you can least afford to lose is?
Your thumb?
Nope, your pinky.
Oh.
Yeah, it's if a kidnapper asks you to give up a finger, you should sacrifice your index finger of your non-writing hand. The
Hmm.
rest of your fingers can compensate for the first finger as well, but the little finger does the job that cannot be easily replaced. Losing it halves puts it in half your gripping strength.
Really? Use your little finger a lot for gripping. That's interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that, but
Yeah, not
uh,
just for
I thought
drinking
the thumb,
tea.
right? Not just well, that's the yeah. So maybe they do it that way so that you don't hurt your pinky when you're
Yeah, you
drinking
don't
tea.
hurt your pinky. But
It's
it's
a
so
simple. It's a
dignified to
simple.
put up your pinky.
Right.
I don't think anybody does that anymore.
No, I don't think so either. One last one I have, and then
Hmm.
if you have some, we'll move on to that.
Yeah.
Mary. There's no evidence that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute.
Okay.
She was a hairdresser or maybe a fishmonger. She dyed cloth. She is mentioned in four gospels. Um, but she was present in the crucifixion and the resurrection. And
Hmm.
at no point does anyone cast aspersion on her virtue. The myth of Mary as a prostitute probably arose because she was confused with the other two other Marys. The one was the sister of Lazarus, whom Jesus raised from the dead. Lazarus was. And the
Right.
other was a singer called Mary, who washed Jesus' feet with her hair. See, that's the one I would think of as
Right.
a prostitute. You know,
Yeah, yeah, because I don't know all that much about that. I thought that was Mary Magdalene. Okay.
yeah. And by the way, this wasn't corrected until the 6th century. Pope Gregory the Great declared that all three Marys were the same woman.
Ah,
The Catholic Church didn't correct that mistake until 1969.
interesting.
I did not know that. That woke me up.
And they say, yeah, I'm just reading a little bit about her. They say that she was called that because it's usually taken to mean that she came from Magdala.
Yep.
Very interesting.
A different twist on it. And I suppose if you talk to someone who went to the seminary and studied the religion and
Hmm.
studied the Bible in depth, they would probably be able to bring that up. So
Well, and it stands to reason that, all the Marys would be confused because that's the most common name, especially at the time.
it
Like
is.
everybody was named Mary.
Yeah, it was Mary, quite contrary. How is your
there were there weren't as many names. And then as soon as the church happened, all those names got reused over and over again.
Of
So
course it
nobody
did.
came up with new ones.
Everybody's a Mary. You know,
Everybody's a Mary. Mary, Maria.
yeah, Maria. Yeah. And I always get those two confused when it was like a Marie or Maria or
Hmm.
Mary. And I have two cousins that would, one was Marie, one was Maria. And, it always get confused which, which name,
Which one to
which one,
call her?
which,
Yeah.
which one to call, say, hey, you, M.
Yeah. Well, that was like, I mean, with my name, a lot of people were confused. And they still get confused, like if I'm calling a help desk for insurance or something. I'm either a Jeanette or Annette
Oh,
or
yeah,
just about anything else that ends in et.
yeah, yeah. Yes, and it's interesting because we talked about this before. Is that you named the first choice was Lynn, Lynn,
Yeah.
but the little ditty, Little Lynn, the City of Sin thing, sort of, you know, got me away from selecting that. That's why, chose Lynette. So,
Well, yeah, and the story that you said that you told me when I was younger that the other name that you guys thought of briefly was Robin, but you said that people would make fun of me and ask me where my red breast was.
yeah, it's interesting. Again, this is a conversation you and I've had before. Is
Yeah.
that with rare exceptions, people are not happy with their names for some reason
Right.
or another. And you find that quite common, certainly into the teenage years, but where they're just not happy with their name and they wish it was something else, and sometimes, names will grow from uh, characteristics, physical characteristics, or something that you might have done, growing up. That all of a sudden, you would get a name that just isn't the same name.
Hmm.
It's a there's a one of our neighbors. His name is Gregory, and he goes by Gar.
Oh,
Why I don't know. You
that's
know,
pretty cool.
Uh, yeah, but it's actually easy to remember. I can see why it would have happened. And one thing was, speaking of names, we'll digress a little bit here, is when I was visiting a couple of years ago, my brother Dennis, and Dennis's name is Dennis Vincent, and he said that he didn't like the name Dennis because they would call him Denise. And,
Ah,
so he often wondered, you know, uh, he would have preferred Vincent. And he said, but I kind of got over it because, everybody in the family calls him Den,
right.
so we don't call him Dennis. Uh, so interesting, but I think that, no matter what your name is, growing up with, you know, how it is, kids are going to find some way to mock your name. And I think
Yeah.
that's where teenagers get dissatisfied with their name.
Well, and
Uh,
that's the part that I was gonna point out was that you guys are agonizing over names. Don't call her Lynn, they'll say Lynn Lynn City of Sin. Don't call her
right.
Robin, they'll say Where's your red breast? So you call me Lynette, and then you also graced me with some Italian characteristics, namely dark hair.
Mhm.
And then they called me Lynette Gillette because they wanted me to shave my mustache.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
But then it turned into Lynette, the best a man can get, which was great.
yeah. There you go. Think, and but then again, like I say, it all sort of derives from, kids are always finding a way to pick on you about something.
Yeah.
And the most obvious is he starts off with your name and they'll make a rhyme out of your name. Personally, that's why I think a lot of kids don't like their name, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I didn't care about it for that reason. The reason I didn't like my name is because it sounded way too feminine for what I thought I was. I
yeah,
didn't feel like a girly girl ever. And so any name that ends like ETTE, it seemed very delicate to me. And I was
right.
definitely the opposite of delicate my whole life. So I didn't feel like it fit for a long time because of that.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I was supposed to be named after my father. And if you think about Eugene and
Yeah.
how the the common thing you would see in movies. Eugene, would be this geeky guy, uh,
Oh,
which
sure.
would have, which interesting, would never have fit my dad or me, quite honestly. So,
Right.
uh,
Well, Gino fits.
Gino fits quite well. That's right. And that's why he went by Gino. So,
Yeah. Gino's a cool nickname. I'm sorry, it really is. And
yeah, it is.
so is Skip, honestly. Those are some cool
Yes.
nicknames.
Yeah. And it's always kind of interesting because, I think I told you a story one time. I was talking to a customer on the phone, and I told her my name, and she says, "Could you spell it?" I says, "It's KIT," So, and then she
Well,
went, "Oh yeah."
well, that's okay. I was on the phone with a help desk once, an insurance help desk, and they asked me what my name was, and I said it's Lynette. I didn't just say Lynette. I said
It's
when
Linette.
it's
So she
Lynette.
did this Linette, yeah,
She thought my name was McGlinich.
with Linux. Oh,
McGlinich. And I was like, that would be such a cool like
yeah,
name for a British detective like show.
yeah, yeah,
McGlinich.
yeah. Well, it's funny how that is with names. Yeah, it's interesting how they can have that. That someone would hear something different, Um,
Oh, I have a story about that. Okay. There was this girl we used to work with, and she was a cute girl. She had a very she like the shape of her face. It was like she had a cute little nose, like a pointy nose a little bit.
Mhm.
Very pretty girl. And one day we're just there in the pharmacy, and my friend Mark, he asked her a question. It was a question like, "Oh, do you have the lisinopril?" And she turns around the corner and said, "Did you just call me rat face?"
How the hell did that come about?
What we said, yeah, exactly. We just looked at her. We're like, "Oh, honey, why don't you tell me about what happened to you?" We didn't say
Uh,
anything that sounded like those words. Did you just call me
yeah,
rat face?
yeah.
Poor thing. And she was,
She probably was thinking that at that time for some reason,
she was
and
sensitive. I could
somebody may have
tell,
called her that.
yes, because I could tell you why. She was probably sensitive to it. She was probably teased when she was little because her cute little nose was a little bit pointy at the end. And I don't think she had a rat face. And I don't think anybody as an adult would ever think that because she was very cute. But I bet that kids used to say it to her, and that's why she
Of
was like
course, yeah,
sensitive to
and
that.
that would be the case. Like I said, this is where the teasing comes in, or
Yep.
the or they're trying to pick out something that 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 they can pick on. So and even someone who would have perfect features would find something to pick on them about.
Oh, absolutely.
So you know.
Yeah, kids suck.
Yeah, they do. They do. Which it also sort of reminds me that you'd come home and you'd be saying, yeah, they were you were really upset they were picking on you, so that I would give you comebacks for it.
Yeah.
But it would be comebacks that would be completely over a small kid's head. And they'd be looking
Yes.
at you like, huh?
Yeah. Yes, and I continued that tradition. I remember that was my style to give a comeback that was above somebody's intelligence level usually, right? So that they would be stunned by my dizzying intellect, right? And so one time all of us cousins were together, all of us Comer cousins, and I don't know what, we were always pissing each other off about something. And I said to my cousin Danny, "How does it feel to be the lowest link on the food chain?" And they made fun of me for like ever because of that. They call me such a nerd.
Yeah.
Like, what does it even mean? How does it feel to be the lowest link on the food chain? Nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly right. I can remember that. I would say something similar to that to someone, they walk away and they go, "Hey, it's
Hey.
insulting me."
What one of my favorite things that you used to say, and I still use a lot in along that vein, it was something along the lines of never fight a battle of wits with an unarmed person.
There you go. Yep. Hmm.
And I say that sometimes, and people will be like, "Yep," and then they think about it for a second. They're like, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're unarmed, because they don't have wits, because they're not smart. Like they put it together after a
Yes.
few.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes, that's why it's a clever witticism.
Yeah.
And this, folks, is why people should keep reading. That's so good. Yeah, people need
Yes.
to keep reading, and then they can get all of our references. Guinness World Records.
Oh yeah, you talked about that earlier. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, the history of the Guinness thing, very interesting. I didn't know until I was like an embarrassingly old age that it's the same people who make the Guinness beer came up with the Guinness World Records. I guess he was somebody who either owned or worked for the Guinness company, Hugh Beaver. Yep. He was a trivia lover, this guy,
Mhm.
and this was in 1951. He got into a debate on what the fastest game bird in Europe was, whether it was the golden plover or the red grouse, in a very easy to imagine scenario. He probably obsessed about it for like a really long time because there was no internet, right? And he couldn't find a good answer for it. He couldn't find an authoritative answer. And he knew that these sorts of things, those kind of debates, would cause lively conversations in pubs. He ended up commissioning two brothers who were researchers, Norris and Ross McWhirter, to compile a book of facts so that people could have these debates. And it was the first Guinness Book of Records was published in 1955, and it was originally intended as a giveaway for pub quizzes. So if you won the pub quiz, you got a copy of this book. But people started buying it as well. It became an instant bestseller. And I had several Guinness books. It was one of those things you used to give me like for Christmas, I think, because it was
Yeah.
a big, huge book. It had lots of really cool pictures, and it had just tons and tons of really interesting facts from every subject. So I always love those. It's a really good coffee table book to have, and I am very surprised that I do not currently own a Guinness book. I really don't. I need to
Yeah.
start getting those. um, but I used to read it every year. I used to read them in the library and stuff at school as well. So I have just a few fun Guinness records from different times. Ones that caught my eye. So the longest distance walked barefoot on Legos was 100 meters. So if somebody walked over 661 pounds of Lego over 100 meters, they did it in 24.75 seconds.
And I also read on that was that someone who, like these people that walk on fire, say
Yes.
it's more painful to walk on Legos than it is to walk on fire.
I would think that's true. Yes. Yes. Because there's few principles that preserve your feet when you walk on fire. First of all, speed.
Right.
But second of all, there's a moisture thing that happens
Right.
with walking on hot coals that can protect you a little bit. Um yeah, so I thought that was a good one. The heaviest train pulled with a beard.
I didn't do it,
No, this is in 2001. Ishmael Rivas, Falcon, pulled a 6,069-pound train 10 meters with his beard. Can you imagine that? Oh my God. The fastest time to assemble a Mr. Potato Head is 5.43 seconds.
Okay.
Very good.
Did you do that?
I could not do that. I always end up losing like one of the ears, an important part. Yeah. The longest time balancing on one foot, 76 hours and 40 minutes. That was in 1997. Can you imagine?
Nope. If
Now,
we can do it for 10 seconds, we're considered fit.
right. And that person would ace one of those roadside sobriety tests.
Ah, yes, for sure.
You'd be like, all right, I have 76 hours. What
Yeah.
are you going to
Well,
do?
is that all you got? Yes.
And the cops are like, forget it. You can go home. Okay. I don't know what. I'm not sure why, but most apples held in the mouth and cut with a chainsaw in 1 minute.
Okay.
That yeah, 25 is the answer. And I don't know if you know this about Guinness records, but there are certain ones that they closed and you're not allowed to try and break the record anymore. I hope that's one that you're not allowed to try and break. Right? Jesus. um the most stairs climbed while balancing another person upside down on one's head is 90.
90, okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I had a hard time in DC by myself without a person on my head climbing those stairs in front of the buildings in DC. I can't even imagine. And that one staircase in Savannah, that's like really hard. No, I didn't even have a person on my head. And it wasn't even 90 steps, and I had a hard time. Most mouse traps released on the tongue in 1 minute, 63.
Ouch, 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 ouch.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, another one with the tongue. Most electric fan blades stopped on the tongue in 1 minute, 57. Now, I never stuck my tongue in a fan, but I used to stick my fingers in the fan because that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Don't try it at home, kids, but it was kind of fun. Most Big Macs eaten. And I think I remember seeing this before. This guy, Donald Gorski, has eaten 34,000 Big Macs since 1972.
Wow.
Yeah,
Still, yeah. Oh,
I know it. There's a guy who can shoot milk out of his tear ducts, 9.2 feet.
that's a talent.
Yeah, yeah. There's this this was a 13-year-old who set the record for most magic tricks underwater. So she performed 38 tricks in 1 minute while scuba diving in the tank at the Aquarium of the Bay in San Francisco. So she did this to try and inspire people to take up scuba diving and, think about water conservation. But that's a very interesting thing for a kid to do. I thought that was really
yeah.
cool to think of that too. You know what I mean? And my last one, ironically, a German group. So this restaurant group gathered 465 couples to simultaneously perform an Italian kiss, which is that Lady in the Tramp thing with the spaghetti.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Where a couple who shares a strand of spaghetti and then kiss when they meet. 465 people all at the same time did that. And incidentally, if you want to be pedantic, if you're doing that with a single strand, it is not called spaghetti. It is a spaghetto.
Spaghetto.
Because that's a single, but I refuse to say that. I'm not going to say spaghetti. I also don't say panino if I'm talking about one panini sandwich. It's, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. You don't need to do that for that.
Right. I may be pedantic, but I'm not that pedantic. All right. So those were my Guinness records. I thought those were cool. There's so many. And that was why I like the Guinness records, because some of them are so freaking bizarre. Like,
yeah, some of them are really bizarre, and then people keep trying to break them, and every once in a while you'll hear somebody breaking some Guinness World Book of Records, and you go, why would you do that? Well, because you can.
yeah, because you can, and it's interesting, and I mean, I don't aspire to break any records, but some of them are interesting. I'm not super crazy about food eating records. Like we were just talking about the hot dog thing recently because they just had the Nathan's hot dog eating I don't like food contests, eating contests. I probably liked them when I was a kid, but now I'm kind of disgusted by them. Especially because you're not enjoying the food. You're just shoving food.
Shoving it down your throat. Yeah, and Yeah, it's gross. That's my opinion when I watch, even watching the film of, a part of the film of the event. I go, yeah, that's kind of gross. So
Well, yeah, and they need to make it even grosser because when you eat the hot dogs with the buns, they put them in water first.
yeah, yeah,
It's like, okay, you just made it even grosser.
right. If that's possible. Yeah,
Exactly. At least a pie eating contest is kind of funny, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. You get pie all over your face and stuff. Yep, yep.
Right, right. But hot dog, I don't know, eating like small things, a bunch of small things, it just doesn't, it's not appealing to me. Oh well.
As they say,
Whatever.
forget about it.
Forget about it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of forget about it,
Yeah,
I'm
forget about
sure.
all of it.
Yeah,
We will, and we'll forget about it by next time and then talk about it again.
yeah,
but
exactly.
but don't forget about us, right? Right? So, if you like us, please rate us somewhere. Rate us on Apple Podcast or anywhere else that you can rate a podcast. I'm sure the other platforms have a rating system of some kind. Write us a review somewhere. Go on the internet and just say that we're awesome. I don't know. Send us an email, mochiaverse@gmail.com, MOCCIAVERSE@gmail.com, and tell all your friends about us and how many things we know or look up.
Yeah, exactly.
And how much you learned from this episode. And you could also send us suggestions for future episodes if you'd like to hear us talk about something and do a little research on it and expound on it. And then you can tell your friends the real reason that everybody comes to this show, all 5 of you, the dad jokes.
Why did you never throw Grandpa's false teeth at a vehicle?
Why?
You might dent your car.
Oh, see, very
Yeah,
good, very good.
yeah, yeah. So why are Christmas trees bad at knitting?
Why?
Because they always drop the needles.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What did the lunchbox say to the refrigerator?
What?
Don't hate me because I'm a little cooler.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, did you hear about the fragile myth?
Uh-uh.
It was busted.
Oh.
I can always tell when someone is lying. I can tell when they're standing too. What did the dirt say to the rain?
What?
If you keep this up, my name will be mud.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yeah, and why couldn't the sunflower ride its bike?
Why?
It lost its pedal.
Aw, poor sunflower.
Yeah. What's the coolest element in the periodic table?
What?
Beryllium.
What is it?
Beryllium.
Really?
Beryllium. I gotta say it 3 times. You won't get it. Ber.
Oh,
Oh,
burr.
yeah.
Oh, I get it. Beryllium.
Beryllium. Wow. See, that's like telling a joke 4 times. It stops being funny.
It was
Uh,
once I knew what you were saying, it was great.
yeah. I used to be afraid of speed bumps. I'm trying to get over it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't recommend entering a wormhole. You might get stuck in the apple.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Yeah. The owner of a tuxedo store kept hovering over me while I was browsing. So I asked him to leave me alone. He goes, fine, suit yourself.
I like that one.
Uh,
That's like the restaurant one where, the waiter comes to your table and says, "Do you want a box for the leftovers?" You're like, "No, I'll just take them, thank you."
yeah, exactly.
There's no need for violence.
Causing the violence, yeah. And why did the egg have a day off?
Why?
Because it was Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh darn. Okay,
Oh,
that's a
darn.
roll. That's a roll one. Roll your eyes one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's good. Was that all of them?
that's all of them. Yep.
Right. All right, that's all we got, folks. We'll see you in a
Yeah.
couple of weeks. Bye.
Bye.
More.
Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. Daddy wasn't finding a bow wow. I've got a little cat. I'm very fond of that. I'd rather have a big bow wow.
See, that's like telling a joke four times. It stops being funny.
It was
Uh,
once I knew what you were saying, it was great.
yeah.